Hi everyone, it's Robin Levin back with the Inside Scoop with Robin, and today I'm so excited to bring you my guest, Adrian Salisbury. And if you are catching this on the replay, just say hi in the comments and tell us where you are today. For those of you who are watching, this is what you're going to learn. 5 Ecamm features that you'll love. Adrian's going to walk us through camera controls, some design features like you're seeing right now, audio control, super important when you present, a whiteboard feature, which is very cool with your iPad, and then some production tips, including using scenes and bringing in videos, etc. Adrian Salisbury, welcome, welcome.
Hey, Robin, great to see you again.
And you. And Adrian is in the UK right now, and I'm in Florida. So how about that?
I'd much rather be in Florida.
Yeah, well, I'm trying to get his academy here. And so let me tell you a little bit about Adrian. His background was in photography, but he has now switched over completely, and he is an online educator. He is an expert at video and live streaming, and he's going to be sharing some inside tips today about using one of my favorite tools, which is called Ecamm. And I first signed up with Adrian's workshop July of 2020 to level up my own technology skills and start to present on another level in Zoom, but also better than what's available just in Zoom. And so if you are doing any kind of presentations or live streaming, you're going to definitely want to take some notes. So welcome, Adrian. Tell us just a little bit here about the academy that I know you've taught over thousands and thousands of students at Ecamm Live.
Yes. I think we've had about 1,500 on the books, but then how many times have you been through, Robin?
Okay, so I have been through 3 times, and part of the reason is twofold. One is every time you present it, I learn new things. There's so much to it, and it's always current. And the second big benefit that was a surprise to me was the community that you created. We are still in it even after the class is over. There's a bunch of us, probably 200, that are still, not everybody's active, but we've got a community, and it's fantastic.
I know. I can't kick you out. It's like a party that you're kind of going, come on, it's time to leave. No, only joking.
It's true. It's true. We beg him to keep it open.
But we normally have, between 200 around there each time through. And you're right. The communities are incredible. It's a real pleasure to be part of.
And it's a safe place to practice, but then we also have our cheerleaders like Valerie and Brian who keep on rocking it after you're gone and encourage everybody to keep going and keep leveling up and keep practicing.
Yep. Works really well.
All right. Well, today, for those of you who are watching, this is what you're going to learn. 5 Ecamm features that you'll love. Adrian's going to walk us through camera controls, some design features like you're seeing right now, audio control, super important when you present, a whiteboard feature, which is very cool with your iPad, and then some production tips, including using scenes and bringing in videos, etc.
Ready? Yeah, absolutely.
Right, here we go. Take it away.
We're obviously talking in terms of Zoom today. I mean, Ecamm, as you mentioned, gets used for lots of things, and it's typically people associate it with just going live on Facebook or YouTube and places. But Robin, we can record things in here, and I could the amount of times actually, instead of recording in my camera, I just record straight into my computer. People are using it for doing podcasts. And, today really looking at Zoom then is another huge use for this. And probably it would be one of our biggest questions in our academy is how can I use all of this and how can I look this good and set things up like we're going to have a look at in a few minutes? How can I do this and send it across to Zoom? So we've really picked off these 5 points that I think, and we could have gone for a lot of others really. But really, I think this sums up what we're doing or why you would want to use Ecamm rather than just going straight into Zoom. And obviously, there's nothing wrong with just going straight into Zoom and using it there. But I think when you start to see these things, you'll go, oh, I didn't know I could do that. So let's look first of all at camera effects was the first point we put down on here. Sorry, camera controls that we put down on here. And I appreciate that in Zoom, I can select different cameras. I can put virtual backgrounds in behind me. I'm not a big fan of them, to be honest. I kind of see some really blotchy backgrounds around people. I know I can soften skin. So they've put some basic things in there really to enhance and improve your videos. But when I come over here to Ecamm, for instance, you're seeing me there. I can do things like I can adjust the brightness in here. I can adjust the temperature if I want to feel a bit more like I'm there with you in Florida. I can correct, if I looked at this and I thought the color seemed off, I've got a lot of correction tools in here that I can be doing. This is like I'm working in an editor's software, but I'm doing it right here inside of Ecamm. So basic things like that. I say basic, that's got kind of the fundamental bits, the bits that I can sort out before a live. Maybe I decide I want to zoom in a bit on the camera and move it around like this. I can do. I can switch between cameras if I've got more than one camera in front of me and I decide I want to be doing all this. This can all go into Zoom, and everything I'm doing right now on screen is what we would do into Zoom. Green screen, if people were wanting to use green screen, much better inside Ecamm, much sharper, better cut out than it is in Zoom. So to get us started, there's some great camera controls that we can do. Robin, do you want to come on back about those at all before we jump on to design?
Yes. As far as the camera controls, also, you're doing that just in that little camera setting inside the Ecamm where you can zoom
That's
and
right.
change. And not only that, you could change my colors, right? If you were
You
interviewing
can
me,
change mine.
or I
Yeah.
could change
So
yours.
you being the host of an interview could absolutely change it. So maybe you decided you're sitting slightly closer than me, and you could actually change my camera so that it zoomed my camera in and lined me up. So yeah, things that I'm not testing you and putting you on the spot, but
No, no, I
um,
have it lined up right now. This is good. Um,
let's not mess it up. All of
no,
those things you can do, and if someone comes in, for instance, and they look like they're way back over here, and you go, actually, let's just zoom you in, let's do that. Or maybe I think actually you don't, there's something off with the coloring. I can just adjust it. You're absolutely right. Good point that you can do it with your guest as well as yourself.
yes,
Yeah,
and it's simple. It's simple. It's right at your controls. It's very easy. It's one click. You can zoom it in, out, and change it. So
yeah,
it's not from your camera. It's inside Ecamm. Okay,
yeah. Should we
very good.
jump on to design?
Yes, let's do it. I'll take you
So
back here.
when we're talking about design, I mean, this is a classic example of it as to what you've done here. You've done a fantastic job there with a background image, and then you've brought us in, and we've got a frame around this as well. Full marks.
Thank you, thank you.
I'm taking some credit for that.
I learned this in
um,
Ecamm Live Academy. I learned this with Adrian. Everything here, yes.
Fantastic. But what a difference. So, if as people are looking at this whole outside with the background, the border, and everything like that is absolutely what can be done here inside of Ecamm. That again, when I come on Zoom, it's my camera or it's my screen share. I have no options for doing things like this. Now, I was looking on here really when I was just putting this together. So here's my front camera. I did kind of give a glimpse of it earlier. I can be working with two cameras, and maybe there's an opportunity where looking down at something I'm working on might be a good reason for having this, or a different way. Or maybe you just want to mix it up and do this kind of thing so you can cut between two cameras as you're talking. Maybe I want to do a picture in picture while I'm doing this. Again, I can do all this inside Ecamm. I just put a very simple frame around this one for me. And maybe like we've already said, zooming in, I can do this and have a scene set up that allows me to bring bullet points and things on screen. Maybe I want to have a countdown timer, and in my Zoom call, I go, right, I allow people to have 5 minutes to introduce themselves, or to do, a Q&A. We're going to start the Q&A in 5 minutes. Get your questions in. Lots of things, lots of reasons why you might want to do this. So in terms of design, yeah, there's loads you can do. And actually, Robin, what you've done here, I think, is a fantastic example of that. cut in between this and the previous scene where both of us are side by side. All of those things. This is next level stuff that you can't do straight into Zoom, but you can when you use Ecamm and push that feed into Zoom.
We also have the names down at the bottom, which you can bring in,
Yes,
and the logo, which is up in the top right, so you can have your logo pretty much anywhere you want. Right. So
absolutely.
your branding and the colors. Right.
Yeah, we've done things with countdown timers and that as well, and there's lots of things elements that you can
Oh,
add
I
to this.
I have that.
Um,
Should I show it real fast?
go for it.
Check this.
Yes,
Check this out. All righty. I love that.
fantastic. So I hope people are getting this. Really, everything that we're doing here, we're just sending this as a camera source out to Zoom, right? So we're there on Zoom, and instead of just showing up with here I am on camera. I mean, we haven't even talked about the camera quality, and both of us are looking good on camera here, and it's leveling up in itself rather than your webcam in front of you at a bad angle and lighting behind you and things. That's a whole nother thing, and we can come back and talk about that one if your audience want to. But uh, yeah, this is it just blows my mind that how to stand out on Zoom, to show up like this. People are going to go, wow, how do you do this? And that's really what we wanted to bring today.
Yes. And just a tip here, I actually have no lighting. I am facing a window. So there's a
Yeah,
secret. Do you need fancy lighting to look like this? No. So you just make sure you don't have the window behind you.
yeah. And just a slight caution with that,
But
though, you're in Florida there, I should think the
that's
sun's
true.
shining all the time. Like here in the UK, I could start a call and the sun's out. 5 minutes later, a big cloud's come over and now it's gone dark. So you do just need to be a little bit careful about sunlight unless you're in California or Florida or somewhere lovely like that.
You do, absolutely. Especially if you're going to be zooming at night or doing your
Well, that's
videos at
true.
night.
Yeah, of course.
Yes, I do need lighting, and I have it. Okay, what is the next point we want to cover?
Audio.
Sure, let's talk about audio.
Let's have a quick talk about audio then. So, one of the things I've found in the past is that, and a lot of customers have said this to us, that they bring a camera in, they've like us, they've invested in a nice camera, then they plug in a USB microphone and they find that it's out of sync when they're in Zoom. And it's a fairly common frustration, and it's the feed from the microphone is getting in before the feed from the camera's getting there, and you can find it's a bit like one of those badly dubbed movies it just looks out of sync, and it's putting people off, and it'll put you off when the comments start coming in going, you're out of sync over there. Well, Ecamm have built in a very clever feature that has got a mic delay. And this is actually hot off the press. This has just come out as a beta update. Hopefully in the next few days, it'll be in the full version of Ecamm. But we can now, so I can do this mic delay inside of Ecamm, and I can adjust how many frames I want a delay. I can test it, I can practice it until I've got it just spot on. And then what I can do now is, as well as sending all this video and all these fancy things that we're doing out into Zoom, I can also send the audio that I've lined up and send that out to Zoom. So instead of selecting my microphone, I select Ecamm's virtual mic, and it will include it with all those bits. The other thing that it will do with audio, again, that we're not really doing in Zoom very easily, or I'm not quite sure how you would do it. We can do clever things with sound effects. We could play some background music in there, just calmly, quietly in the background. Talking of calm and quiet.
Sorry, Adrian, I had to throw that in.
But you can absolutely, and you can bring some real fun to it. You cheers like that when something good happens. You could, along with your countdown timer, you could have a little bit of music that's counting down as well. So yeah, it's not just the video side, but it's the audio as well. Firstly, of kind of lining it up and sorting out any sync problems, or the issues with it being out of sync, and then also bringing in and playing a movie, things like that, where you need the audio to come across as
Oops,
well.
sorry.
No problem. So
User
yeah,
error.
audio is another one that a big deal, and one of those things that you maybe think, oh, I can't do those things. Well, you can inside of Ecamm by bringing this feed into your Zoom call.
So some people wanted to bring in sound effects like I did, joking with this one.
Yeah,
That's a one. That's a hotkey. I pushed my number 9, and you can bring in music to Zoom that you couldn't do before, right? With
yeah,
Ecamm. So this is
yeah,
a huge new feature that makes it easy too. You don't need a lot of extra third-party tools.
yep, totally. So I could just be playing some, like a YouTube video might have, just with some sort of subtle, easy music down there in the background. You
That's
just need to make sure
fantastic.
it's kind of royalty-free music that's not you're not going to get in any trouble for. But yeah, you can be doing that. You can have that a playlist queued up in advance and just be putting that on, or maybe on your Zoom call. You want to say to people, like with that time, you go, right, I've thrown this task out to you. I want you to have 5 minutes to do this. I'm just going to put some music on while you work your way through that. And we would change the scene in Ecamm, and it would have the music, it would have the timer. When the timer ends, it comes back. And so I think we take for granted, Robin, how much we can do in Ecamm
Right.
that you can't do in Zoom.
And I think, again, for those watching, think about it as setting up a show. It's almost like you set up what we call these scenes. The scenes, the
Yeah.
animation is the introduction before the show begins. And
Yeah,
then the first, it's like a slide presentation on steroids. It's
it
just so
is.
much better. It's
That's exactly what I would say. It is, when I'm trying to explain it, I say it's like a PowerPoint presentation, isn't it? And every scene is a new slide that you're deciding, do I want camera? Do I want to share the screen? Do I want 2 of us on, or whatever it be? Yeah, that's a great description.
right. Yes. So audio is very important. I just want to ask you for some tips, by the way, as far as music, copyright music. Where do you have suggestions where they can get that?
Yes.
And we can put it in the description in the, I'll put some links
Yeah, I'm just trying to think. I
below.
think it's Soundstripe that we use
Sound,
for most of our music now. If you looked at royalty-free music, let me just see.
I
Actually, let me
think
just
there's
double
also,
check.
is it Envato is one of them?
Envato Elements. So there's different ways of doing it.
And Audio
Um,
Jungle, I believe.
so Audio Jungle is part of Envato Elements.
Oh, one I
Um,
use that I like is Ben Sounds. Ben Sounds.
okay,
Sounds. It's excellent. Yeah.
I have come across that one. Yeah, Envato Elements is the one that we use. Sorry, Envato Elements then would be videos, graphics, and music. You can pay a monthly subscription, and then you can download what you want. Audio Jungle that you mentioned, you would go off and find a track, and you would buy it for maybe $10 or $19 or something like that, and then you've got that one track. So it's, if you're just really after one, that can work well. If you're sort of wanting to have a few to play with, then a subscription one like Envato Elements or Soundstripe would be good ones that you can go to. And you can just flick round, you can search by mood and time and things like that, and you can find a stack of music. And you don't need to keep the subscription. So if I went on for a month, I could download some music, cancel my subscription, and I can still use the music even though I'm not actually still continuing to pay their license. And that's a question some people have had in the past when they're talking about royalty-free music like this.
Great. Great. Good
Yeah.
point. Okay. I know we learn a lot more of that in the academy, but thank you for sharing
Yep.
those tips. Yes.
No problem at all.
All right.
Um, I'm excited for the next one.
Yes. Did we go? Well, I also wanted to just mention, by the way,
Yep.
for those of you, a lot of people are now finally getting LinkedIn Live, and happy to
Yep.
say that, oh, I just got my notice a couple days ago.
Yay.
Yes.
Fantastic.
Now, Adrian, you were just streaming today into LinkedIn Live simultaneously and YouTube about the new
Yeah,
mic feature, the new virtual mic feature.
that's right.
How did that work out
Um,
with LinkedIn Live? It was so great to see so many people that, again, from the Academy, that we could live chat and see who was attending while you were
yeah,
presenting.
it was. So we're going to do another live, just feeding back on this and just trying to get our experience. We're learning. It's the first time we've done this and gone live on LinkedIn. We've obviously done it for years on YouTube and Facebook. So yeah, we're kind of looking in. From my experiences hosting it, haven't seen a lot of difference. I look in there and I have comments in front of me, and yes, there's an icon to say whether the comment has come from YouTube or LinkedIn. Owen, my son who works with me, Robin, you know him. Owen's sitting the other side of the office when we were on the live, and he said he's got YouTube open and he's got the LinkedIn screen open, and he said I much prefer what it's like to view. One of the downsides with being on YouTube is you've got all those suggested videos down the side, and it's a bit of a messy screen. Whereas on LinkedIn, it's just you there on the live, and you can do. So for Owen, or maybe you've got a moderator on who's there in the chat with you. They're able to reply to individual people's comments. So if somebody asks a question in there, Owen can kind of hit reply like you do in Facebook straight to them over there. You can't do that in YouTube. You can kind of you can write their name and it would show it back, but it's not the same. That's sort of nested commenting. And me going back to it, and if I wanted to go back to that live now, go down the comments, I can like people's comments, I can reply to them individually. I can't do that on YouTube because those comments are still visible, but I can't get into them at all. I'm now in the comments area at the bottom, like I would do on a normal YouTube live that's been posted. So yeah, I think there's a lot for it. We use Restream for that because we wanted to put YouTube and LinkedIn alongside each other. We didn't get any analytics coming back from LinkedIn into Restream, unfortunately. So we couldn't see how many people were on from LinkedIn. We could see how many were on from YouTube. I think as we get into this, we will either be going just to LinkedIn from Ecamm or just to YouTube with different content. I don't know. We'll see. But
we could see watching it live how many were watching it on LinkedIn. On LinkedIn,
I guess when I go back and have a look at it,
you'll see.
Then we'll see how many people were on. But normally my analytics in Restream will tell me how many people were on from each platform. And it doesn't seem to be pulling that through from LinkedIn, unfortunately.
All right. Well, at least we overcame a hurdle though about getting LinkedIn live. And there was a tip that was given out about changing your profile to creator. And that helps expedite the process because so many people tried and applied 49 times, somebody said. And
really, wow,
they weren't getting accepted.
Is that what it was they were saying? I thought that somebody was mentioned about a pro license or going for a higher or a different package. It was just changing your profile to a creator.
That's what Judy Fox, who's an expert LinkedIn queen.
Fantastic.
She dropped that nice little tip the other day on a session that we had with Anna Indulgence. So I'll sharing that here and comment and say, yes, it's Judy Fox, Judi Fox rocks, hashtag.
Yep. I caught part of her live that they did the other day, but I missed out. I didn't quite hear that bit.
That was a golden tip, I would say.
Yeah.
Yes, that was excellent.
It.
So
well, I'm all right now because I'm already on here.
I know. So if you're watching that again and you're seeing it on the replay, definitely give us a comment, thumbs up, and let us know if you switch it over to creator. And that's what's working today. Things change, so quickly, but that's what's working right now in real time.
Yeah, fantastic. Good.
All right, where are we at with your? Let's see. Since we're doing this, here we go.
Yeah.
Audio. Whiteboard and production. And I just want to make a comment before we switch it to you. What we're doing right now is pre-recording in Ecamm, and it's a fabulous function if you're creating courses or if you're giving presentations or you don't want to go live. Adrian and I decided let's do this as pre-recording, and then I'll repurpose it. So that's one of the most powerful features I love about Ecamm.
Absolutely. And this could be, maybe this is quite visual as a topic, but there are a lot of people turning this into a podcast as well. So, you and I can be talking now and doing the recording, but then you can just strip the audio out of it and go, there you go, that's going up to a podcast. The video's going to YouTube, and I'll take little snippets and put them on social media elsewhere. You're right. It's a fantastic way to repurpose this. We're actually having Ian Anderson Gray, who's a real expert on repurposing, he's going to be coming into the Academy as a bonus this time around. I'll talk to you more about this later, but he's going to be coming in and doing a masterclass specifically around repurposing your content. So I'm excited for that.
Excellent, excellent. Yes, that's important. A time saver. Create it once and send it out 12 times.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
Okay, so you want to take us through the...
I'm itching to play with the whiteboard one.
Let's
I think
go.
people are going to love this one.
All right, you're on.
I think this is one of my favorite, or in terms of a wow feature, really. And I haven't personally used on a Zoom call the whiteboard feature. I know it's there, and if you haven't seen it, when you click to do a screen share and it says, which desktop or which app do you want to share, there's an option there for a whiteboard, and it comes up, and you can kind of use your mouse and in a very funky way draw a line or write on screen. But I had a few customers all of a sudden go, we've seen this guy and he can write on the screen. How do you do it? Is there any way that we could do this in Ecamm? And so like this, I've got this nice blank canvas at the side of me here.
Oh.
And I can write on screen like this at the side of me. And, if I were doing a demonstration maybe or a presentation and I'm trying to, I don't know, I'm explaining some funnel or something, and doesn't this look cool? How much better is this than actually trying to use that whiteboard? I'm using a pen over here with my iPad, and we're able to bring this in as a layer. And
why don't you write your name? Robin? Write your name, because I forgot to put that on here in the text box. So if you have a host,
there we go,
like myself, Adrian Salisbury, yes, who forgot to put the name on this particular scene. Right. That looks great, Adrian.
So how cool is that? I just think, as I say, we've had people that have been saying to us, how do people do that? And that's the kind of buzz we want when folk are on our Zoom calls, our lives, our presentations. If we can do cool things like that people go, I was on this Zoom call the other day and this guy wrote on the screen. It was amazing. That's the kind of thing we want to be able to do. And if your presentation is visual like that, and there are things that you can do and bring them on screen, or maybe this is how you problem solve and you're working through something with a customer and you can go, right, well, let's bring this up and just work this one through. I think this is the kind of stuff that, to me, we're talking about 5 ways to level up your Zoom. This one to me stands out above them all. We probably should have saved it to a last, shouldn't we?
Well, I don't know. The next one. Well, the next one is whoops.
Well, production. We've
the next one's,
we've kind of put this down as production, really, but this is more the behind the scenes of how we're doing what we're doing, is what I'm thinking here. And Robin, we've already. Sorry.
I want to add one thing though for authors, authors, speakers, experts that are watching. One of the benefits I discovered yesterday, I have a brand new ebook out, and this one happens to be for singles. It's called More Joy in Singleness, Single and Over 50, 10 Ways to Level Up Your Life. And I thought, let me try to do a pre-promotion on Ecamm and practice, put a couple of scenes up, show what the book cover looks like. I have a 5-star review on Amazon. I just got published 2 days ago. And so I was sharing it in scenes, thinking, let me talk about the backstory, show the cover, show the review, show how to buy it. And it's like Ecamm was perfect for that, to practice, do a pre-recording video. And then I will get it to a point where it's ready to go out on social media, and I can record it in vertical as well.
Yeah. Yes.
So that is for the authors out there, speakers, leaders, experts. This is such a powerful tool.
Absolutely. And to wherever that audience, whether you want to put that out onto LinkedIn, and maybe like you mentioned earlier, you don't even need to do it as a live. Maybe you haven't got signed up for LinkedIn Live yet. Well, you can do this and pre-record it and just put this out as a recorded video. So many uses for it. That's a great example. Yeah. So I'd really just put this last point in as production of bringing all this together, really. How do we do this writing on screen and all of these bits? we've already touched on it really, that this is scenes that we're looking at, and as you mentioned, it's like putting that PowerPoint presentation together. This is really what makes Ecamm unique, is just the ability to do this. I've got a switcher in front of me. It's called a Stream Deck, a control thing that I can just press buttons and it jumps between this screen, the writing on screen one. This is so slick, and we can do this. There's no other way to do this and do production like this, really. All of those things really, we've already kind of covered it as we've gone through, but really all of these things, all of these elements, I'm not on the fly going, oh, hang on a minute, I've got a video over here. Now I need to go screen share, and now I've got to do that. It's all here. It's all done for me, and it's as slick as I want it to be, just to move through from one thing to the next. Fantastic. We love Ecamm, don't we?
We absolutely love Ecamm. Like I said, I started in July of 2020. I've taken every quarter, I believe. I've taken 3 Ecamm Live Academies, and I'm about to sign up for the next one, which, by the way, why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes. So we've been doing Ecamm Academies kind of every quarter, really, over the last couple of years. It's been fantastic. We love it. People said to us, why don't you just put it out as evergreen so we can just, sign up any time? But there's been, I think you nailed it earlier on, there's something quite magical really about these academies and getting people together and working. If you'd have just downloaded this, Robin, and gone, oh, okay, there's a set of videos, cool, thank you for that. Not having the mix of that plus the community, we're really doing you an injustice. And so I don't want to do that, because I know the importance of not only consuming the content in the videos, but practicing it and playing it. And you mentioned earlier that we create safe places, and that's exactly what this is about. This is pretty scary for people to go live for the first time. And so we're saying, come and join us in this safe community. So the way this works, we will be starting on the 28th of February. It's a 2-week training. Call it a boot camp, call it a training course, whatever you want. We drip out to you videos each day across the first week, and I jump on a live every day, and we kind of kick the day off and go, right, today you're going to be learning this. You go away and watch the videos, and we use that time together. We have an hour together live every day. That is really then it frees me up to use that time to answer questions. And maybe you've gone live into the group and we can go, this is a great look at what Robin did. What a great example here. Maybe next time, have you tried doing this or move that around? It's just a fantastic place, and it works so well. So 2 weeks of training, all the information dripped out in week 1. And then in week 2, it's very much over to you to practice and have a play. And we still keep jumping on and doing Q&A calls through that week. And as I say, we're kind of going bigger and better this year. And we've got 3 different guests who are going to be coming in with bonus training. One talking actually about Zoom and really going to a whole nother level with Zoom, talking about escape rooms and things like that you can do. Ian is coming in, is going to be talking to us about repurposing. And then Anna and Fulgens are going to be coming in and really helping us level up on the design side of it and setting some challenges for us. So bigger and better than it's ever been. It's only coming around twice a year, though. So we are doing it, as I say, one is starting off 28th of Feb. And then, unfortunately, if people are catching this after we've started that, the next one isn't going to be until October. So we're running it twice a year. We're allowing more people to come in. We're making a bigger event out of it. But if you look at our sales page, which isn't available and open just yet, but when it is there, have a look. It's full of testimonials. We have so much good praise about it. It just works so well. Final thing, actually, I should just, but one final thing to mention is we're creating tutorials on all of these features. And as you mentioned, the new feature that's just come out is a virtual mic. We'll create a video on that and we'll put it in the academy. And whether you join the next class or whether you joined in July 2020, you get all of these updates. Every video that we add in there, you get the updates, and it's yours for life to get all these updates and keep yourself up to date. So when Ecamm hopefully by the summer, are going to come out with a big update for version 4. Anyone that's in will get those updates and we'll be able to get back in. So it isn't just about the 2-week training, access to the videos for life, and past the 2 weeks, as you mentioned, that community group stays open. I back off and leave you to it, but others in the group kind of take the lead on it. And yeah, you'll have another 6 months to practice and play in that group together.
And Owen and his family, Rachel, his wife, are awesome. They're all there to help you out.
Yep.
And it is such a supportive community. You'll learn a lot, but let me show you this. Not only will you learn a lot, you will have fun. That I surprised Adrian. That was a screenshot I took of Adrian teaching some fun feature in Ecamm, which you will see. But yes, we definitely mix it up. I'll put the link to attend and sign up in the description below. But yes,
That
we
would
do
be
have
great.
fun. It's not just, it is a lot of learning. It's intense. You will be held accountable if you want to advance your skills, level up on your presentations, on your Zoom, even virtual conferences, which I've held several this year. And again, it's all coming from the Ecamm Live Academy, just really taking your skills to a whole nother level.
Yep, that's brilliant. And it's, whether that's for, as we've mentioned before, it isn't just about live streaming to Facebook and YouTube and that. If you decide, look, just want to learn how to do this so I can do Zoom calls, it's still as relevant for you. And maybe along the way, you might decide you actually quite like going live to LinkedIn or Facebook, and you can slip a few of those in. But you will learn a ton. Yeah. And it's from novices. The first session in there is how to unpack and get started with Ecamm. It might be worth, Robin, popping a link into people for Ecamm as well if they've not heard of this before. But yeah, we don't take anything for granted. We absolutely start at the basics, and that's why it's in 5 stages, really working through. One day builds on the other. You can kind of jump in and out at whatever point you want. Yeah, but we're absolutely there to support you for that 2 weeks.
Yes, and what's great is you 5 days, you know that you're going to show up at noon East Coast time.
Yep.
You'll get your questions answered, and you're also interacting with the community. And again, it's at your own pace. So I love the format that you put together for this boot camp, I call it, is exceptional.
Yeah.
And it's
Good.
the only community that I've ever been so involved with, where my friends, I talk to people in California, I'm in Florida, we talk all over the world, actually.
Yeah.
And these connections and friendships and even business relationships were created from the Ecamm Live Academy, Adrian, that you created for us. So I have long-term friends now from there. That's what, 2 years ago.
Amazing. I love to hear that. That's really cool.
Yes. Okay. Well, thank you so much for coming on and giving us some insider tips with using Ecamm Live, Ecamm, and with the whole Ecamm fam is fantastic. Okay. Well, thanks so much for watching, Adrian. Thanks for being here. And I will take you up on that. We're going to do another interview on a different subject for sure. Yes.
Yep.
Stay tuned. Put your questions in the comments.
Thank you. Thanks so much, everybody.
Thank you. Thank you.